That's right. It's another late night, which means it's time for another reach into the Just Giggler grab bag. And tonight we're pulling out. Oh, I gotta give my rubber gloves for this one. The Butt Man from Just Giggle at Home, episode 4. This was, let's see. Oh, it's an Alex Poncio sketch. What do you know? Poncio!
Poncio.
Poncio!
Dragon, this is a ghost story that the Hey Arnold writing crew would approve of, wouldn't you think?
Uh, maybe, yeah.
I'm just saying, like, what I like about this sketch is that it's got the same sort of like tone and atmosphere of one of those, and yet it's something so ridiculous. All right. So
Yeah.
of course this is a Poncio special. Dragon, obviously, we had this whole running gag throughout all of Just Giggling at Home where it's like Poncio's just like, all right, I'll do something, but I can't promise you it isn't butt. And then of course Piper chastising him, don't make it butt this time, Alex. And then, going as far as like, just make it butt. I don't care. Oh, Piper, you can bet on butt. And then right here, Dragon, we have the culmination of the butt, you would say.
We have the ultimate payoff to the ultimate running gag of JGI at Home, and kind of the meta contextual thing of like, yeah, some of JGI at Home, it is going to be us doing like the absolute most you can while under quarantine, but by the same token, we're gonna, in some cases, we're gonna reuse and reutilize kind of sketches that haven't quite found a home, which is nothing to sneeze at. But this is not one of those sketches. I'm just saying that that's been kind of the gag with this Ponzi thing building up to this point. Where now he's putting in the work, but self awarely. Yeah, I'm gonna make it butt in the unconventional sense. So, yeah,
All right. So, any other background things we need to know about this dragon?
just two things. So this, of course, is an absolute Ponzi special, written, directed, and edited, as you said. It this was kind of utilized as like a build-up sketch for the final kind of like kind of crowd pleasing sketch with the HBO Max thing, because you had this and Tad Roast movies after the musical act. So basically, it's like you have kind of this kind of hills and valleys effect. Where okay, we started the the opening sketch and the Gina Davis of it all, which we already talked up. We get a few sketches, and then we kind of do the musical act, and then we build up the plateau, and this is kind of in that range of building up the grand finale. So yeah.
Dragon, I came up with a way to talk about Tadros movies, and I don't know if it could ever like actually happen. I don't know if like Mark Sipka would be down for the improv of it all. But what if we did a Tadros movies? What if we had quote unquote Tad on for a Wizard of Oz debate?
Oh my god, that's I don't. But that sounds fun. I don't know if that's sustainable. I mean,
That's what I'm saying. I don't know. I don't know. It just like the idea popped into my head.
right. Plus, I don't know. We have to go through Tad's agent though. It's going to be a nightmare.
All right. Anyways.
Okay. All right. So all that said, let's dive right into it.
All
So
right, let's do it.
we have a spooky exterior shot, which, by the way, a little akin to Monsters Drink, which stars the great Alex Poncio, and also Mark Sivic, since you brought him up.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's kind of like Monsters Drink and some of the old school JGI stuff. Only instead of like a still of a house, we're actually going to the outside of the house. Again, it's like a little kind of the next level version of that in a sense. It's kind of
And then,
a
of
little
course,
nice throwback.
in the classic horror movie vein, it's the shot is kind of like a handheld POV shot. So
Mm-hmm.
already we're building the tension.
We are. So we have Poncio hanging out with a very special guest. This guy came back after a long while. I wonder if he recognized him. Uh,
I was struggling so hard to place this guy. I really was. Please
well, you've
tell me
only
what,
seen him in one other thing, and we had
All
some
right.
live encounters with him. At least I think I don't know if you did. I did, but anyway. So Poncio is hanging out with a returning Brennan Loy.
Okay. Okay. Name sounds
Evan.
familiar.
Evan from Watching You, the big crush of Prabilski, man, of Jessica Parker. Evan, little the blonde little
Oh, Evan. Oh, okay.
Evan.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah.
All right. All
You had the
right.
crush on Evan, that guy. Brandon Lloyd is back. He looks remarkably different, though. I'm gonna
He
say
does.
that's
He
the thing.
does.
Because
I
from
would have
what,
never
bear in
placed
mind,
him.
from what he was years ago, so it's not that's understandable. He's gonna look a little
Of course.
different.
Of course.
Plus, he's like in a workplace environment and everything. He looks completely like casual Brandon Lloyd too. So anyway, okay. So let's see. So these two guys are hanging out there. They have no names, so we're just gonna go Poncio and Loy, as it were.
All right.
Okay, so man, what a great evening. You want to do a scary story?
I love how this is kind of like this kind of calls to mind Poncio's. I like to call it the egging on effect. Yeah, you
Absolutely.
scary story. I got a scary story. I got a scary story. Want to hear a
I
scary
like your
story?
I like your branding on that. The egging on
uh,
effect is far better than what I had. But yes, I basically we framed the sketch as sort of this kind of Candyman-esque device, kind of the campfire ghost stories, as it were, but
uh,
within the house. So let's see. So Loy is nervously saying yes, almost as if he's Carl Weezer during the sleepover episode of Jimmy Neutron. Just very timidly, like he brought the rubber sheet, so to speak. So he's very nervously saying yes, yes, go ahead. And it says, "You sure? I got a scary story. Tell it."
God.
So, just they have such a funny interplay together. I mean, these two guys have been ages since these guys have been in the same room together, I'd imagine. So it's really cool to see them kind of back in the fray. Really nice. Okay, so then we have this creepy piano accompaniment, which I believe has a name later on that we I think it's called infrasound.
The music and sound design in the sketch is pretty on point, especially the Dragon. I call them the John Carpenter farts.
So yeah, we'll get there. All right, so
All
this
right,
creepy
please.
piano accompaniment to the story, which again helps set the mood so well, it also a little akin to another Halloween Poncio related thing, Healthy Halloween, where you have that creepy like
Sure, sure.
Happy Halloween, the creepy music and everything playing. Okay, so okay, there was this one night, there was a kid and his friend, just like you and me, on this night, on a
This is
night
kind of what
just like
reminds me
this.
of the Hey Arnold scary stories,
Yeah,
especially the ones that Phil would tell. Because Phil
absolutely.
is literally just like making up these details that go along with the events of the day. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
like Four-Eyed Jack or something like that.
Right, right.
All right, let's see. So, this and again, it's almost like every time I hear like a creepy campfire story, I constantly think of the Freakazoid gag. The whole like, and everything was made of wood.
Oh
And the
God.
whole, what if Sinbad got a television show? That whole thing. It's really,
Oh man.
oh god, it's so fun. And Sinbad's he's on the rebound, baby. He's coming back in Shazam, possibly.
Another
You hear? Did
Shazam?
you hear about that?
What you mean? Like, wait, is he doing like like, is he gonna be in Shazam too?
Yeah, Shazam too. Like, he was on the panel during DC Fandom. People think he's going to be the voice of the Tiger.
Okay, so the joke is that they're getting him just because of the whole Kazam Shazam thing.
They made fun of that, so that might be the majority of the reason. But
Oh
yes,
man.
that's
All
again,
right.
assumedly that's why.
I'm not sure how I feel about that, Dragon, but whatever.
Well,
I'll
the
roll
point
with
being,
it.
just bringing Sinbad back, and again in a role like that seems
All
to be
right, all
fitting.
right.
Anyway, okay, sorry, getting back on track here. Campfire stories. Okay, all right. So okay, let's see. So we have this great editing, but we keep going. We kind of cut between the inside of the tail here, and again, kind of this Poncio perspective shot. And the outside of again our handheld figure seemingly making his way inside. So again great POV spooky character stuff. So,
Mhm.
see this friend he ate so many beans he farted himself to death. So we
And
should
they
mention this now.
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So Poncio, one of the famous things Poncio's done for JGI, the man has revolutionized and legitimized the fart joke infinitely. He has. I mean, look what he did in the Quiet Place parody. I mean, the
The
man
Quiet
made it
Place
made a.
parody was like that was kind of a game changer for the just giggle it fart joke, if you will.
It was going the two prime examples of Poncio like legitimizing bathroom humor in the way it should be done, like the way Family Guy used to do, but they don't do it anymore. Like Poncio found a way to bring it back, the quality fart joke, the Pavarotti of fart jokes, if you will, what he did in the Quiet Place, the parody. Anyway, so like that or brother sister or serious talk, where we're gonna make like kind of a
Sure,
gratuitous
sure.
conversation, but again make it from. Anyway, so we're kind of I think we feel like we're pulling a little bit from that here. All right, so and then this is where he's doing the Phil thing from Hey Arnold, just making stuff up, and they called him the Butt Man.
Right, right.
So he's completely flying by the seat of his pants, literally, to terrify Loy here. Poor old Loy. Loy in space, if you will. Anyway, so you can summon the Butt Man by farting with a friend on a night like tonight.
I like that there's no justification for why the night has to be tonight. It's just like on a night like tonight.
Yeah, it's the aesthetic, it's the ambiance. Yeah. So he's asking, "Hey, you want to do it?" And this is where you get the egging on Ponce. It's like eager with a smile versus
Uh-huh.
like the terror and just the pragmatism of Lloyd. Just like, "No, I don't want to." He's being very prudish. You're like, "No, no, farts are for the
Come
bathroom."
on, dude, don't be a coward. And then, of course, more on point sound design with the biting the nails sound effect.
Yep, yep. It's really funny, very Scooby Doo esque.
Mhm.
So of course, no, again, here I want to note Poncio's style here. He's Poncio with that Franklin sketch that he did, like "Don't Tell Franklin." He's really demonstrating kind of his bicker comedy, if you will, like sort of like the back and forth, two guys on a couch. Again,
Yeah,
making the
yeah,
most with like
right.
the means at hand. You know, it's two guys on a couch having this really kind of quiet, kind of bickering conversation. It seems to be kind of a really cool signature Poncio may be developing because it works wonders. So
And then
yes, we push on the.
I love this bit where Poncio sets the atmosphere. He's just like, it's just spooky fun. It's a scary night. Come on, I got a fart. You got a fart. Let's summon the butt man. And then we see just the camera just pushing in on the window, pushing in, pushing in. Like you said, farts are for the bathroom. Give me your
And
fart.
then
Come on. Go ahead.
we have the Carpenter effect.
Yes, yes. Oh God, talk about the Carpenter effect.
So basically, again, yet again, as we push in on the as we push in on the door, you then hear you hear kind of like farts of the past kind of run through, like almost like if the butt man could growl, it might sound something like
Oh
this.
God. Oh man, it's absurd.
It is, it's absurd, but again, it's shot with, again, it's trying to trying to make it palatable.
And then
Okay.
real friends don't ask you to fart.
God, no, don't ask me to fart thing, the ominous sound. Again, this is where he calls out, I'm sure right now there'd be infrasound over this thing, which again is really a fun meta joke because I'm pretty sure that's like what this music is playing over the thing. It's ghost story with friends. There's a mistake in this, though. A ghost story with friends on a rainy night. It's not raining.
Yeah, I can forgive it.
Sure, it's just like, literally, we could have said anything just but not rainy night. And why is he saying rain? Anyway,
Dark and
so
spooky night.
there you go. Oh.
Right.
Okay, so anyway, so this is like, don't ask me to fart.
All right, you're right. You're right. I'm so sorry. We can just hang out. We'll watch some TV, play some Fortnite. What do you
Then
say?
says, yeah, he's just giving the nod, yeah. But then Poncio here, he lifts his leg and he gives like a very, very pronounced staccato fart. And again, I'm convinced that's not an effect. By the way, I think that's I think that's a Poncio should get some stunt pay on this one.
Oh
I think
God.
he did it. I think Loy should get the stunt pay. Poncio should just take a look in the mirror.
Wow.
Again,
Shame.
this is what's happening right now. Again, not just. I'm sorry.
God.
All
All right. One thing I need to know, Dragon, this is kind of like a plot hole that sort of bothers me a little bit.
Yeah.
Let's see if you can clear it up. In the story, I thought that the whole thing of the urban legend was that they both had to fart.
Well, I mean, it was a little ill-defined because it sounded. Well, here's the thing: as he told it originally, it was just a fart. They didn't specify who
Okay.
or if it was multiple. But then it sounded like he wanted to make it like a group thing. You do it, I do it. So it's
Yeah, that's
unclear if
what
it
I'm
literally
saying.
was
Like the group thing was kind of like what made it imply it was kind of like a Bloody Mary style, like like almost like a chant, if you will, but with flatulence.
Again, the Candyman thing. Like
Right,
Candyman, the
right.
whole Beetlejuice factor. Which again, we had Beetlejuice at the top of all this
I'm
for
the
this
ghost with the
episode.
most, baby. Woo-hoo.
Because I'm saying the Gina Davis of it all, yeah. But yeah, it's no, it's again. I think it's up to interpretation. I think for the most part you're right. It is kind of a plot, but then again, it was ill-defined at the start, so I think it passes. It just barely passes. Anyway,
Well, I
so the
mean,
point being,
it passes just because obviously the whole thing is like completely made up as Poncio goes along, and that's
yeah,
part of the joke. So,
sure, there you go.
all right.
Right. So anyway, Staccato 4 terrifies Loy. He flees. Says, "Come on, duty." There's of course. Okay, there's the gag. He's scoffing at the. We have the big gag of the whole piece. So he's scoffing at the
But
Buttman.
man, he's not even real.
So then we have this cheeky reveal shot. It's a very Adult Swim inspired design, by the way, kind of like the opening of Rick and Morty, or like kind of like there's like an Adult Swim show where it's literally a character exactly like the Buttman, who's just a pair of legs and
Oh God, Assy McGee. Oh, why do you have to remind me of Assy McGee,
But what I'm
Dragon?
saying is it's either like in the better comparison being the Rick and Morty thing, where they go to the world of all like the
I
butt
have an
people.
even better comparison, Dragon. South Park did an episode where I don't want to get too into this, but I know the JGI people know what I'm talking about. Where they basically Ben Affleck turned out to be a butt person.
Really?
Yes.
Huh. Well, that would be fitting, Buttman, in that regard, if you really think about it. Anyway.
Right.
All right,
So anyways, the joke is like, yes, Poncio turns around, and then it's like I would say a very impressive looking just butt mask, if you will. How would you describe it?
But you think that's a mask?
How would you describe it?
Tiki, that's Brendan Loy, you know.
Oh dear.
Yes.
Oh God, it is.
It's a mask. It's very impressive. I'm pretty sure they confirmed it like one of the live streams. That's Brendan Loy. Well, basically, he's
Yikes.
contributing to a shot that's going to make Kelsey Probilski scream like a little fangirl, or Jessica Parker more accurately scream like a fangirl. Go over it.
All right, well that's awkward because yeah, I just thought it was like some sort of prosthetic or something. Because
If it's a prosthetic, they've upgraded They've upgraded eons from Monsters Drink. If that
well,
is
yeah.
the case.
Well, I mean, to be fair, they upgraded eons from Monsters Drink when they did the Beast sketch.
They did. But I'm saying this is like that. This is like this would be on level of the Cranston mask prosthetic thing. Like remember when Cranston went to Comic Con with that mask of Walter White to be that lifelike sort of thing.
Right.
Anyway, so then we again the point
I'm
is
honestly
really
kind of surprised that they're able to get away with that on YouTube. To tell
well
you the
on
truth.
Poncio's channel. He on Poncio's channel where he basically has the video like kind of cut out in full. It is age restricted by his request. So.
Okay. Anyways,
I mean, I'm surprised at too. And yet again, this is the running gag of JGI Home. There's like a JGI cast member dropping trow every episode somewhat. So yet again,
and of course we have to talk about the editing, Dragon. The quick cut. Like Poncio gets like half a gas bin before we cut.
Yes, he does. Which is Ponce's reaction, folks. Again, I really a part of me wanted that image because it's just kind of a perfect composition, but still just for the taste of it all. Like let's not let's not show the full grandeur of that last shot. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, mid credits.
Right.
We cut the credits mid screen. That's great. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So that's pretty much it, Dragon. Oh shoot, where did the image go?
That is an excellent question.
That's inconvenient. Dragon, is there anything? Is there anything that you want to plug on Poncio's part?
Yes, Joshua Thomas, he mentioned something that Poncio did recently. He mentioned this podcast he did, because if you notice, Poncio these days, he's especially looking at this sketch, he's looking a lot more svelte than he used to in the olden days of JGI, and he actually did kind of what Kevin Smith did with the whole veganism thing. Let me be clear, I don't think he did that for the diet. I don't know what he did for the diet. What I'm saying is like how he's kind of talking about, like, he went on a podcast and he talked about how he did it. Recently, it's called a podcast. There's a podcast about Ponce talking about his journey called the Fat Guy Forum Podcast. That's what it's called. And Josh Thomas kind of promoted it during creating comedy. So I thought we kind of promote it here. So it might be. I haven't listened to it yet. I mean, I don't know if I'm going to get to it, but if I do, it'll be probably interesting stories. I don't know. It sounds like it could be. I heard like Josh Thomas kind of sounds like it's a real personal tale. It's like it should be riveting stuff. So. Sounds good. Sounds interesting. So the point being, if you want to learn, if anyone's like looking at, a lot of people obviously go JGI for, unfortunately, not always the sketches. They're going for the Harley Quinn and Joker versus the real world, which is also fantastic. Don't get me wrong. If you look at Howie then and how as we might get him in the future, might be kind of like a Jay and Silent Bob versus Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back effect going on here, like reboot versus Strikes Back. Where, hey, I wonder why did he slip?
Howie, have you lost weight?
Well, thanks for noticing, boss.
My God, Howie, you look flat out dapper.
Yes. Should get you a new hat. We'll call you a Dapper Dan.
Oh God.
Or a Hipster Howie, something like that.
And then Dapper Dan from Super Academy comes on, and we get the first Super Academy JGI crossover.
Yep.
Dapper Dan's just like, hey, that's my job. See?
Yes, we might be able to make that happen, folks, but no.
I know, right?
Yes, we know the folks from Super Academy, but again, it's not. It's like, dude, they're too. It's like getting the Freddy versus Jason thing. It's gonna be ages of paperwork and millions of drafts. It's never gonna happen.
Wow, this is really frustrating.
The final thoughts on my end.
Yeah, I'm sorry,
And-
Dragon. Like, I have the image, but I just can't. For some reason, it's really not letting me full screen it. Final thoughts on your end.
Final thoughts on my end, and cow and chicken joke. I'm sorry, it's ridiculous. So yes, this again, this is pretty funny. Again, I think I'm really thinking comparably to Ponzi system. I don't think it's as funny as Franklin, as silly, kind of limited as Franklin is. I think the production value is better though. The production value is really good on this. Again, it's kind of Ponzi upgrading the two guys on the couch sort of thing, and again, really good shot composition, really good editing, and again, punchline, pretty funny. It was a good time. It was I guess like a hearty laugh during the main kind of airing of JGI Home episode 4. And again, I looked at Poncio ended on a high note, ended on a great note of continuity with the running gag. I thought it was it's quite solid on Poncio's part.
All right, this is the best I'm gonna get here. Sorry about that. Okay, final thoughts on my end. Yeah, I definitely, as a horror movie fan, I really appreciate this, and I think it kind of goes hand in hand with, the Quiet Place parody in terms of being a flatulence humor-related sketch with the trappings of a horror movie, and I think this does a really good job of both building up suspense and building up the laughs. So, bravo, Alex. Bravo. Well done, my friend.
Poncio!
Alexander Poncio!
Oh, God.
All right. Take us out, Dragon.
Well, folks, that does it for this week until the next exciting reach into the Just Giggle It grab bag.
And they called him the Butt Man.